Hey guys, if you stumbled across this video, you're probably thinking, I cannot use this Cricut machine. My crafts are failing and I do not know where to go. Well, you have came to the right place. I'm going to give you all of our best tips and tricks on how to make your crafts a little bit more fail-proof and show you all some little things that you may be doing that are causing issues with your projects today. I've got lots and lots of things up my sleeve, so make sure to stay tuned and we'll go ahead and get right into the video. If you're new here, my name is Alicia. I am a craft producer here with Makers Gonna Learn, and we bring you inspiration, motivation, and education to get your die cutting machine out, get started, make your life a little bit easier when you're learning something new, such as the Cricut, as well as other crafts. We want to see you all succeed, and that's why we thought, let's put together all of the fails that we see, all of the things that we get questions on a lot, and answer all of that in this video so that you all feel better prepared to actually create your projects. One of the first things that we see whenever we're working with crafters is they typically are starting with like a paper project or something that uses glitter cardstock, things like that, and they don't know which adhesive to use. And so I thought, let me bring in all of our most used adhesives and show you all what they work best for. So right here, I have some of our top used adhesives when we are working with paper crafts. Now, typically, I'm gonna go for my ATG gun and my Zig two-way glue pen when I'm working with standard cardstock. The Zig two-way glue pen, this is basically like a paint marker. You can see it has this chiseled tip. They even have wider tips and more fine point tips as well. It's called the Zig two-way glue pen, and it works just like a paint marker. This is great for standard cardstock. Now, sometimes people will try to use a Zig two-way glue pen when they're working with glitter cardstock. That is not gonna be your best bet. If you are wanting to work with glitter cardstock, a lot of times I'll recommend a hot glue gun. Now this is our precision tip Lynn Lily glue gun. It's a precision tip glue gun, as in it has this very fine point where the glue comes out. It's also wireless. It has a base that has a wire on it, but the actual gun does not. This is really, really good for precise paper projects, especially ones that use glitter, because the glitter does not like to adhere to anything because it is a textured surface. So we recommend hot glue guns for glitter cardstock projects. Now the ATG gun is something that you can use for a mixture of different paper cardstocks. So you can use this for like a standard solid cardstock, as well as other types like foiled cardstock and glitter cardstock as well. If you find that you're trying to layer a piece of glitter cardstock on another piece of glitter cardstock and it's not sticking with your ATG gun, I would just opt in for a hot glue gun situation. So it's really gonna vary depending on the project you're making. Just know that if you're having issues with your glitter cardstock, sometimes a hot glue gun is just your best bet. We also use things like the Aleene's Tacky Glue. This is a precision tip as well. Obviously, you all can tell that we love more precise gluing tools whenever we're working with cardstocks. So this one is great. It's just an all-purpose adhesive. If you are building a bigger cardstock project where there's a lot of area to cover, you don't want to go in with a thick, goopy glue like Elmer's or something like that, mainly because it's gonna cause bumps and waves in your paper. And so that's where your ATG gun is gonna come in really handy. This is just double-sided adhesive. You just put it on the back of whatever you're wanting to attach. It's dry immediately because it's just double-sided adhesive, and it's not gonna leave all of those waves. The thicker glues like Elmer's glue and things like that, they're gonna cause those waves in your paper, and it just does not look good. So that's why we really, really gravitate towards this ATG gun. In the membership, our Makers Gonna Learn membership, we actually do show you all how to use and change out the rolls of film in this. So if you're like, what the heck is an ATG gun? We do have stuff within our membership that's gonna help you all learn how to use this. So these are like the biggest things that we use whenever we're talking about adhesives. This isn't all of them, obviously, but this is the majority, and these are ones that we gravitate to on a daily basis. Something that we get lots of questions on are heat settings. Now, with different types of vinyl and different materials, as in like the blanks, like t-shirts and things like that. There's going to be different heat settings for different types of products, as well as the blank that is actually adhering onto. So it's going to be very, very broad, wide range of different heat settings. What we always recommend is that whenever you purchase a vinyl, typically on their website, they will have things like you need to set it to this exact temperature, you need to press it for this long. If you're using vinyls like Caesar or StarCraft, you can easily go and onto Google and just search Caesar, StarCraft. You can go onto their website. They're going to give you heat settings for all of that. Something that we offer here at Maker's Gonna Learn is our Cricut reference guide. So when you become a member, you get this PDF reference guide that you can pull up anytime that you want. We have heat settings for all different bases. We've got heat settings for puff vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, all the different blanks for wood and for t-shirts even. So lots of different ways that you can go about it. Just make sure that you're checking those heat settings before you're considering it a fail. If you're just going in and you're like, I'm just gonna, press my little mini easy press on my HTV and hope that it sticks. If you don't apply the amount of heat that is required, you're not gonna have long-lasting projects. So make sure that you are just following those instructions as closely as possible, and you're gonna get good results almost every time. Another thing we get questions about is warm peel versus cool peel. Now, you may be brand new to Cricutting or using heat transfer vinyl, and that's okay. What I'm referring to is when you're gonna peel the transfer sheet off. So typically with heat transfer vinyl, you have a built-in plastic sheet, which we call our carrier sheet or our transfer sheet. And what you'll do is cut your design from the back of the vinyl. So you mirror your design when you're in Design Space. You mirror it, and then it cuts, and then you weed off any part of the HTV that you don't want, and then you're left with just the design and the carrier sheet. Well, then you take that vinyl design, you put it on your t-shirt, and then you're like, wait, when do I peel off that carrier sheet? Because obviously it's not going to stay on there. You only want your design to stay on there. Well, a lot of times you're going to need to do a warm peel, sometimes even a hot peel, depending on the type of vinyl. Now, most HTVs that we use here in the studio are hot to warm peels, so we can pretty much pull it off right away. Now, there are some exceptions that do cool peels. A lot of times glitter vinyl will be a cool peel, and that means you just need to let it be completely cool to touch before you actually peel that carrier sheet off. DTF is another instance where you're gonna do a completely cool peel, otherwise it will ruin your project. So always make sure that you are checking what the instructions say when you order vinyl. And if it doesn't come with any in your packaging or anything like that, make sure to check the websites of the brand of vinyl that you're using, because it's gonna vary from brand to brand. The next thing that I want to touch on is transfer tape. Now, transfer tape is something that you're going to typically be using with adhesive vinyl. So we just talked about heat transfer vinyl. These have the built-in transfer tape or carrier sheet. You're going to hear it referred to both of those things at different times. But we typically will call this the transfer tape. This is for adhesive vinyl, so sticky vinyl that does not need heat in order to adhere to the blank. This is something that we get so many questions on because there are lots of different transfer tapes out there that you can use. Now, one that we gravitate towards, and that's mainly because this is a good medium tack transfer tape, is the Caesar transfer tape. This is a gridded medium tack. When I say medium tack, I'm meaning it's not super strong. So this is something you could use on just standard adhesive vinyl. If you were working with something like glitter adhesive vinyl, you're going to want to use a stronger grip because it needs to grip up that adhesive vinyl. It's just a little bit thicker usually. So just like your standard adhesive vinyl, a medium tack transfer tape is going to work perfectly. Caesar brand is amazing. You can purchase this on the 143 Vinyl website as well as other places. And then a lot of times you'll find certain vinyls need their own transfer tape. And I have found that working with Tech Wrap, which is just a very specific brand of vinyl, they have their own transfer tape. And I personally usually like to use the Tech Wrap brand transfer for that vinyl. So a lot of times you'll get into new vinyls and things like that, and you're like, why is it not transferring with my Caesar transfer tape? My Caesar transfer tape works all the time. I don't know why it's not working. Sometimes you just need to use that brand's transfer tape. It could be that. It could even just be you need a stronger grip or you need a lighter grip. So they have light grip transfer tapes. I will say we hardly ever use a light grip transfer tape though. This medium is like the go-to. We use this 90% of the time unless we're working with a TechRite brand, and you're gonna be pretty safe on most adhesive vinyls if you're using this specific one. A lot of times people will message us in and they're like, I keep using this specific brand of adhesive vinyl on my wood signs and it keeps peeling up and I don't know what's happening. Is it my sealant? Is it something else? Is it just the heat? I don't know. And a lot of times it's because they're using a cheap vinyl. When I say cheap, I mean as in quality. So we don't encourage sealing our projects as much, because if you use a high quality heat transfer vinyl or an adhesive vinyl, typically it's going to last pretty long. I mean, unless you got it directly out in the weather, those are going to, cause vinyl to peel up and things like that. Or if you've done heat transfer vinyl on a t-shirt and it's getting washed every other day because someone is wearing it often, those are things that are just naturally going to cause the vinyl to come up. It's not meant to last forever, but we do recommend that you are investing in a high quality vinyl. Now, some of our favorite ones that we use around here on Maker's Gonna Learn are the Caesar brand Easy Weed. I will link this all below for you all, so if you want to check it out. The Caesar brand Easy Weed is amazing. The Starcraft brand for adhesive vinyl weeds like butter. It is so good. It cuts so good. So we use Starcraft for our adhesive vinyl and Caesar for our heat transfer vinyl most of the time. There are a couple other brands that we love, but we know that those are very high quality and we know that they're going to last a long time. So I really want to encourage you all, if you keep having fails, not even just with vinyl, but if you're like working with a very cheap glue, maybe from the Dollar Tree or something like that, and you're like, why are my projects not staying adhered together? Consider maybe the quality of the products that you're using. And that way, whenever you go to make your projects, you're using high quality products that you know are really helping you achieve the best results. When you use cheaper products, sometimes it's hard to gauge whether it's you, whether it's the product, whether it's just the project in general not working out. So ensuring that you have those high quality products already on hand is really going to help you all succeed in your crafting journey. Now, on the subject of vinyl and quality products, a lot of times people are confused about which type of vinyl they need to be using on which surfaces. Now, I've already covered heat transfer vinyl and kind of how it works. We talked about adhesive vinyl a little bit. Those are the two main ones that you're going to typically see. Now, the biggest thing is that heat transfer vinyl is great for textiles and adhesive vinyl is better for things like tumblers, wine glasses, more of like a hard surface. A lot of times people get conflicted when it comes to sign making. Should I use heat transfer vinyl on this wood or should I use adhesive vinyl? Because you can use both hand in hand. Like we just touched on, if you're using a high quality vinyl, it's really not going to matter. When it comes to sign making, I do have personal preferences, and if you make signs a lot, you're probably going to have personal preferences, but this isn't just for signs. I want to say that typically, if you're wanting to use a heat transfer vinyl, you're going to want to be working with textiles. When I say textiles, I mean like t-shirts, duffel bags, things that you can actually iron on and apply heat to. You're not going to want to apply heat transfer vinyl to something that can't take heat. So you've got to think like, if I'm going to put this heat transfer vinyl on it, can I put an iron on that base fabric or can I apply heat to that? Or is it going to mess up whatever's underneath it? So if it's something like a wine glass, adhesive vinyl is probably going to be your better bet. And it's really just going to depend on what your base is. So consider things like the heat application and if your blank can actually take that heat and other things like that. The last topic that I want to cover in terms of your craft projects failing is that you don't know where to start. My best advice for you all here is to become a member of the Makers Gonna Learn community. We have so many resources within our website that really are gonna help you all get started on your crafting journey. If you've been wanting to really jump into it and you've got a Cricut and you've been kind of playing around with it, but you feel lost, we wanna be there to help you all step by step, hand in hand. We have so much good information on our website. We have courses, we offer master classes. We've got a private Facebook group where everybody is kind of working together to get a good result. And you can always ask questions on there. We will answer you directly. We also have people in the community that will answer that you can reach out to. And it's just very helpful whenever you are on that crafting journey and you really just feel like, ugh, I keep failing. I don't feel like I have anyone to ask questions to. Rather than scouring the internet, you can just come straight over to the Makers Gonna Learn community and we can be there to help you every step of the way. If you're ready to sign up today, make sure to click the link in the description below. We would love to have you all as a part of our crafting community. We cannot wait to see you guys. And until then, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.